I mean, I hope it's sun shining for some of you ladies, wherever your respective locations are. It is not sunshiny in Florida where I am right now.
It's really warm here. The temperature is building. It's going to be 27 tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do in this country because we all just go to meltdown when it goes over 21 degrees. So who knows?
Meltdown and lockdown.
Yeah, meltdown and lockdown, exactly.
LOL. Here it's kind of it's like it's sunny and windy, so you get like a nice balance where even though it's hot, there's like a breeze. This is the weather that you hope for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds great. I don't necessarily. I'm not mad at a thunderstorm. I'm not mad at a torrential downpour.
Mm-hmm.
It's like perfect nap weather right now. Right in Florida. It's perfect nap weather. But you know what? I'm energized right now. You know why?
Why?
Because I'm on this Twitch channel right here with you ladies, and we're about to get this show started.
Yeah.
So hello to our Twitch users and viewers. Welcome to the Arghon AI live stream. My name is Paula, and I'll be your host today. I am joined by the lovely Lauren and the lovely Jess. Hi, ladies.
Hey.
Hello.
Yes, we're excited to have you. If you are first-time viewers of this channel, welcome. If you would like to know a little bit more about Arghon and who we are as a company, you can head on over to www.arghon.com, or you can catch us on our social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Arghon AI. That's ARGHON AI. We also have a YouTube channel available to you to check out some really fun videos. Also, how to set up your Arghon artificial intelligence. That is youtube.com/Arghon. Yes, today is Topic Tuesday. So the setup of this episode is we picked some interesting news articles that we found, and they are pertaining to artificial intelligence. So we will summarize them for you, and we will have a conversation on said topics, said articles. If you are curious to follow along with us, we will be posting every single article as they come in the comments tab. If you would also like to just say hi and let us know where you're coming from, what the conversation of artificial intelligence looks like wherever you are viewing from, feel free. If you would like to add any comments or questions to videos past, you are also free to do that. If you would like to, you can head on over to our videos tab on our Arghon AI Twitch channel, and lots of episodes, past episodes, are there for you to enjoy and hopefully walk away with a little bit more information as to what artificial intelligence is and the implications on our world and your life specifically. All right, ladies, how are you doing today?
Yeah.
Good. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I got my treadmill time in, and I feel great.
Good.
Good.
I feel great.
Very good. Very good. It's nice to get that blood flowing, you know. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
Good. How are you, Jess?
Yeah, I'm okay. Had
Good.
quite a productive day, so that makes me feel good. Kind of wish that I had gone for a run so I feel that energized, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and there's no better feeling than that, because you're just like, I'm ready to do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit jealous of that, but
well, I mean, there's always an indoor activity that can be done to get the blood flowing. So just go to YouTube or somewhere else, and something will pop.
Yeah.
True. Very true. Ladies, I don't have a random question for today. Can you all think of any random question? It can be about anything. whoever is viewing, any Twitch users, viewers right now, if you're tuning into the channel, if you have any random questions, let us know. We always start off the episode with just a random question. So,
sorry, I'm trying to. I have a random question.
Yeah.
I think okay. So if you were to be any animal in the ocean, who would you be? Which animal would you be, and why?
Interesting. A turtle. I just thought of that. Yeah.
That's cute. Any particular reason why?
No, it just came to my head, and I thought of Finding Nemo, and I thought, they are some cool
So you want to be like the chilled out turtle, yeah, dude. Go with the flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
That's the only reason. It just popped to my head.
I hear it.
It's a great question. Maybe a starfish. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a starfish. Final answer.
Right.
I think they're really beautiful, and they live and thrive in the ocean, and it's like I feel like if I were scuba diving and happened to see a starfish, I would just be like so excited. I'm like, oh, that is so beautiful. It's almost like art for the sea, Almost looks like just like a piece of art for the sea, and I like that. So
I thought you were gonna say, well, if one of your limbs gets chopped off, you'll just regrow it.
I mean, that is pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, look at how resilient they are.
The way she held her chest, I was not sure where that was gonna go.
No, I know.
Wow, they really that's a real fun fact?
Mm-hmm.
You learn something
Even
new.
Even better.
So we've got our first comment. Ashy D95, hello, welcome back.
Hi, Ashy D95.
They have put, hello, I think I would be a jellyfish as I would look cool. And if you touch me, you might get a shock.
Oh. That's so edgy. That's so edgy. See, and the one I was going to pick is close to that. So I feel psychologically connected to Ashy D95 here. Because I was going to say my sea creature or animal would be a giant squid. Emphasis on the giant. Like, I just think they're the most... I don't know what it is about them. I think it's this idea of, how like they would say it's very rare to see a giant squid alive once they get to the surface. But I'm talking about like those like 12 feet, 15 feet, like the 20, like giant squid. But it's like, it to me, I think it's the coolest thing that somewhere in the depths, because they live in the depths of the ocean, and down there you have very few predators. And I forget what else they said is also another reason why they kind of grow, because certain sea animals can like just live forever as long as nothing attacks them, which is amazing. Like there are things that are literally immortal in this world. Like it's only because they have predators that they die.
Yeah.
And so like some giant squid can live a really, 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 really long time, and they become huge and they weigh tons. They're these massive, like they sound like something out of like a sea tale, a sailor's fairy tale or something. Yeah. And I love that like they're this long thing with all these arms, and then there's like this weird beak like in there hidden behind all of that. And then if you've ever like, I remember I was watching this documentary where they took the baby submarine down to really low depths in the ocean, and this squid was, and their eyes, like the way that you just see like just a giant eye, just like it's so. I just think they're amazing, and they're vicious. Like they will attack on sight, but like they literally are just floating otherwise, just like this through the ocean. But like imagine a whale, but with tentacles. It's just amazing to me.
Whoa,
it's just amazing.
Just the eye. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's really creepy, but kind of cool.
And it's so big. It's like this. It's like the size of like a human torch. I just, so cool. So I very much understand the jellyfish thing. I just like the slightly, like that there are things on Earth that live at depths where we don't see them. They have a whole life. The ocean and its unknownness is so intriguing.
Because they
Or
say,
terrifying, depending on how you look at it.
yeah, they say that there's loads of like species that are just haven't even been like discovered yet, and that is kind of terrifying, but also really cool because you're like, what else could there be? You know, like the blobfish, but like times 100 because
I'm
they
here
are.
for it. I'm here
Let's
for it.
save it for a different year. Let's maybe next year, maybe a couple years.
Yeah.
Let's save.
2020 has enough stuff.
Yeah.
It's been a year, but yeah.
I should be 95. Please let us know how is our volume. Do either of us need to turn up our volume? Because I do know that if we go into the microphone settings, we can actually increase the mic volume.
I've got you ladies on full volume as well, so hopefully it should be all right today. But yeah, Ashley D, if you could let us know, that would be appreciated.
Yeah. Paula, say something so you can hear you talk.
Something. Hello, the weather. Just kidding. Yeah, that was a really good random question. Thank you for that. Thank you. That's actually very fitting as to where we're going to be going today for Topic Tuesday. All right, so we have 3 articles right now, and our first article that will be presented is from MIT Sloan. Miss Lauren, take it away.
Okay. All right. So, no, I said it like that. All right. So this is an article that comes from MIT's, like, I guess, Sloan School, but then their management review. And it's a discussion about artificial intelligence. It's titled, How Intelligent is Your AI? Subtitled, Ask These 4 Questions to Tell If Your AI Solution is Really AI. It's by Michael Wade, Amit Joshi, or Joshi, Mark J. Greeven, Robert Hooijberg, and Shlomo Ben-Hur. All right, so essentially, it's an article that is much like a lot of the conversation we have on here, where we're talking about, you know, is what people are depicting as AI truly AI, or is there a more accurate descriptor that could be applied? And so when, you know, it kind of struck out a few things that it doesn't consider AI, and then this article gives a great summary about, you know, what is AI. Obviously, to some extent, what they talk about and how we see things, obviously there are some divergent parts, but that's always what happens when you're talking about more academic versus like our practical experiences. So let me pull up my notes real quick. Okay, hold on. All right. So one of the interesting things that I found as a contrast with this article, between this article and I guess what we talk about, is the definition. So at Arghon, we define artificial intelligence as the application of human learning and logic to AI, and empowering that AI and it would be that AI would be empowered to make decisions, and it would have agency. So it's the culmination of all these technologies to create understanding, logic, learning, and then do something with it, make a choice. MIT defines AI, according to this article, as any computer-based system that observes, analyzes, and learns, period. So it doesn't quite go to that next step, which is what we talk about, which is then it should be able to make a choice based on that that understanding. And so even in that definition, the one that just, you know, anything that learns, analyzes, observes, to me, that seems more like machine learning, just a very sophisticated level of machine learning. As well, we were thinking, the article, I think, says, the article also says that they believe AI should be able to, quote, work with data that is not well-structured, well-defined, or even numeric, and that it should be able to use kind of natural language, image, video. Basically, if something is truly AI, it's able to take in all kinds of information and make the sense of it. Again, you're applying logic and understanding in a human context. human beings don't often receive information in some, here's a perfect spreadsheet of my night and here's everything that happened. Mm-hmm. No, we converse, we say things, we infer things, we see things, maybe a facial expression, and that's the end of the sentence. All of these different things go into how we take in our world and understand it. And in a similar way that we agree with that, and again, we just go a step further, saying that AI also should then be able to act on decisions, make real world choices. So how this article defines what isn't AI is it says, just because a system uses an algorithm and advanced statistics doesn't make it AI. So it might be able to solve a problem or even play games, but that doesn't mean it's AI just because it's essentially just following a series of patterns and getting a result. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something that we generally agree with here at Arghon. Anything that's just an algorithm. And we find in a lot of technology PR today that you're going to get that kind of language used because it's become a buzzword. Artificial intelligence has become a phrase that people use. So the next point in this MIT article that was mentioned as far as something that's what makes it not AI is it says just because the system answers questions doesn't make it AI. So what we say is if all the AI can do is talk to you, it's a chat bot. It's like when you had AIM Instant Messenger, AOL Instant Messenger back in the day, right? And you write something in it, or any of those when you're gaming online and you ask a question and it spits out a prearranged answer, and that's it. It doesn't do anything. That's not necessarily artificial intelligence because all it's doing is kind of that vending machine, call and response. Mm-hmm. And that makes a reference to decision support systems that were used in the 80s and 90s. If you would like this thing or whatever, as well as help functions. So if you've ever gone to a website and clicked on the little question mark in the upper corner and then had a drop down of, is your question related to the breakdown of a product, how to start something, how to set up your system, or contact something. That's not AI. That's just a response, a call and a response.
Yeah.
3, just because a system is advertised as AI doesn't make it AI. And again, that's just talking about hype, the fact that it's a buzzword now. So it's used, and it's used in some ways maybe irresponsibly, but definitely to catch that hype wave. So then the article talks about what it really does. And again, we go one step further than what they mention here. As they say again, it observes, analyzes, learns. And they talk a lot about being able to take in information, and the AI would then say, okay, well, this doesn't work, so therefore we have to go and take this route, or that doesn't work, so therefore we have to go and take that route. And that's something that's a part of what Arghon does. But then obviously we go one step further. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that ability to analyze, make sense of the environment, be able to learn from the different information that's being brought in to make a decision to say, this is good. If this keeps failing, we drop this one, we go to the next one. Mm-hmm. All of those things are part of what builds artificial intelligence. But the article here, they actually reference, they reference things that we see every day as being artificial intelligence, like the suggestion algorithms for Netflix, or for I think it's a fashion stylist subscription called Stitch Fix, which start off making generic recommendations, and over time, as they learn your choices, they improve and create more tailored responses and recommendations. Those things, again, are a part of artificial intelligence, but artificial intelligence, as we see it, is that overarching whole. So then the writers of this article give a quick summary as to, I think it's how many points? It's a 4-point system to help someone determine whether or not something that is advertised is truly AI. Mm-hmm. And the first is, does it use large amounts of data across a variety of formats? It only needs to be a small amount of data. If it only needs to be a small amount of data, it's probably not AI. If it uses large amounts of data, I switch how I say them. That's okay. it uses large amounts of data in different formats, either through manual input or automated sensors, then probably AI. And again, it's just that idea of AI is supposed to be able to handle big data, handle it wherever it's coming from, however it's imported. That's, it should be able to muddle through it, similar to how human beings can look at a room and figure out, okay, there's doors, there's floor, there's, a sky through the window, etc. Second, does it update its uses over time? If it updates itself and adds new data almost in real time, it's more likely to be AI.
Yeah.
3, does it adapt its decision-making logic over time? So basically they talk about an iterative process. So you try it one time, try it another time, and each trial, depending on the result you get, the weakest link gets dropped off and you keep the ones that work and you continue that process until you kind of perfected a system. And so they are saying it iteratively improves its decision-making logic in close to real time. That is nearly impossible to understand. That it is nearly impossible to understand how it reaches a given output. So what's hilarious? Thinking about this sentence, outside of just its sheer tongue-twisting madness, is the fact that one of the things that these lists keep talking about is, can it do the thing in real time? And with Arghon, one of the amazing things about us is that we're always talking about, and you see it all over our website, everything that Arghon is doing in real time. Arghon's able to deliver sports scores to you in real time. Arghon can track your progress of blah blah in real time.
Mm-hmm.
Arghon can give you directions in real time. Yeah. Arghon can update you. So that's a true fact. That's a true fact that they have there. Because a human being, when they're conscious and paying attention, is existing in real time. And if we want our artificial intelligence to be artificial intelligence, it's got to mimic the way human beings work. Yeah. So it has to have that ability to adapt, to take in new information, take in lots of information, disparate information, or at least different styles, and unrelated information, and make it work, as Paula said earlier today. Make it work, make it be able to make some choice or gather or respond in some way to that. And Arghon is really amazing when you think of when you see what discussions and we've had the pleasure of talking to some people at MIT about Arghon over the years, and we've had the pleasure of knowing, frankly, that we have a world-class system here. All right, and the fourth point that they say that helps you determine is what you're working on AI or not, is does it adjust for possible biases? Basically, are there proactive measures and adjust for potential biases? Then it says it's probably AI.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that phrase, that last one there, I would question if that makes something AI or not. I don't know if being able to, I wouldn't question it per se. I think any good AI should actually have this element put into it.
Yeah.
But I do think it's something that is going to be determined so much by its creators.
Yeah.
And an AI that doesn't necessarily overtly say, hey, that's a bias, I don't want that information in there, isn't necessarily not AI. It just might be not well built AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because, the biggest thing I think is, can you tell the AI that something is biased? That to receive information in this way is biased, so make sure you don't get that. And then the AI takes that in, understands that, and then knows to apply that. But it's entirely possible for an AI to not adjust for bias because it's something the founders never quite considered. It's similar to how for Arghon we have features that protect people within certain age groups, right? Because certain information works for some people, some doesn't. Yeah. Some stuff you just need to have a certain level of maturity to know. And so there's this understanding with our AI. Oh wait, what is this information like? What is that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to determine, okay, well, if you live in this area or you live in that area, maybe it doesn't make sense to give you this response versus that other response.
Yeah.
Yeah, but generally, I think the bias, that's going to be a hard thing to insist that any good AI has that. But I think if you want to make a good AI, you should try and have that. So. So these people finish the article and they say, of course, organizations first need to identify the right problems to solve, and only then try to determine whether AI machine learning techniques are the right solutions for those problems. In most cases, the best insights can be generated using the simplest tools. Never let the tool dictate how you solve the problem. But if you decide you need AI, then make sure the product you're building or buying fits the bill. So I think in the end, their biggest thing is know if what you're talking about is really AI, or is it just another tool that you're using? And, just try to, engender clarity,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that point is well taken.
Yeah.
Ladies, what are your thoughts on that? I know that's a lot of information.
Yeah, I think again it's just that thing where people automatically assume if it's a robot, it's AI. But that kind of comes down to media content and how AI is portrayed. Because as you said, there's certain buzzwords that are used, and people just kind of go off maybe a headline that they see. They don't even read into the article itself, or they're not aware of maybe what AI is. But as we always say, it's really important to sort of educate, and that's why we're on here to kind of spread not only, the message of Arghon, but, what AI actually is. Because again, it's not necessarily everybody's fault that they've got these negative connotations, because, you watch Terminator and stuff like that and people are like, oh, it's going to take over the world, when it's not that. So yeah, it's just really important to kind of educate, spread awareness of what AI actually is, because, there are things where it's misconstrued. But, we're here to try and help spread awareness and try and, educate everyone tuning in to let you know what is AI and what isn't. But Arghon is definitely an AI. So if you go to arghon.com, check it out for yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I love articles like this because it does get to the question of what AI is and isn't. And even in these articles, nothing is completely perfect, I do disagree as well that, AI can have bias. That has been the discussion for the past few weeks. It's come up on this Arghon AI Twitch channel. Artificial intelligence, it takes the information and does something with the information that is collected, the data or whatever algorithms that are being used. Artificial intelligence is always learning. So it is learning from the information that is being input into the system. It's not just shooting out information and that's it. It's not the dump truck method as it would be used with things that aren't as dependent on learning. On learning. And that's what artificial intelligence is. The way for the AI to truly work and to truly be something that can fit into whomever is using the AI is because it is learning from all of the data that is being input into it, and it is giving curated answers. I mean, I can't speak for every AI. I can only speak for Arghon, but it is our artificial intelligence is doing something with the information to make it a curated experience for the user. It is learning from the user as well as assisting the user in making their lives easier. This was a great article because we do try to demystify and debunk anything that may seem, well, I'm not quite sure how that pertains to artificial intelligence and all of the gray areas. We look to make them a little bit clearer for our audience. So I do believe that this is another wonderful article that does just that. And also the commentary is very important as well, because as a team, us having interacted with an artificial intelligence and seeing the behind the scenes and creating the experience for the users and what we would look for in an artificial intelligence brain is also an important facet to this channel. So it's not just we're going over some news articles, but we also have experience with artificial intelligence that we can give a different perspective and continue to demystify this conversation. For our users and viewers of the Twitch channel right now, if you are curious as to what Arghon artificial intelligence is, what it is like to interact with this AI brain that has been curated and really made with the end user in mind, taken into consideration everyone's different life experiences, and the fact that whomever is interacting with this AI brain is not all coming from the same places. Diversity is really what makes many things thrive, and an AI that takes into consideration various diverse ways of life and diverse backgrounds is something that really everyone should be expecting should be expectant to see. That should be the standard for artificial intelligence brains. But I can only speak about Arghon, and that's what we have. So if you are curious as to what that looks like, if you are curious as to what an interaction with Arghon AI looks like, head on over to arghon.com right now and download Arghon to your various devices and just start a conversation. That's how this whole journey begins. Just begin a conversation with Arghon. Let it learn to learn you. Get it into that way of being that it's just, oh, okay, this is my AI. It knows me. It works for me. It makes my life easier. And now I've freed up time to possibly pursue other endeavors that I've been interested in. It really is a trajectory shifting kind of experience. So yeah, head on over to arghon.com now if you are curious as to what that looks like. What is also really interesting in this is that the whole experience of making an AI, what that looks like, coding for AI. I know that there aren't many places out there that offer that kind of service, but we know of a company that has these services available to anyone out there right now who is looking to get involved in coding and learning to possibly one day, if you want to make your own AI, you can do so because you are equipped with the knowledge and the tools to do so. If you've ever been interested in coding for artificial intelligence, you can head on over to arghon.com/vision 2020 right now to get started. All of the educational lessons are available on our platform, as well as the same area to practice those AI codes and start creating anything you would like of your own. Any programs, any games, anything that your mind thinks of, you can code it with AI, and you can learn how to do so through Arghon's Vision 2020 initiative. Once again, it's free, ladies and gentlemen.
It's free.
It is free
Completely
to
free.
you all to use. It's ready right now. So if you are seeing this and you're like, well, I want to do that, you can head on over right now and do so. All right. Thank you for that article, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Well, we were talking about the deep blue sea before.
I know, interesting.
And that leads us beautifully into the next article that Jess has found for us today.
Yes. So, my article, it is Robot Divers Could Use Artificial Intelligence to Save Coral Reefs, NOAA. And it's from Forbes, and it's by a gentleman called Jeff McMahon. I think that's how you say his surname. I apologise if I have mispronounced it. But yeah, it seems like I'm going for a theme, but I didn't intentionally think, oh, I'm going to stick with the wildlife theme. Last week I spoke about wildfires. Today I'm speaking about coral reefs. But, it's cool.
All right,
so
you love nature. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't hold it against you.
So this article is, it's about coral reefs. So it is the NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which is a US scientific agency. Basically, one of their reef restoration managers has said that currently scientists, they have succeeded at, restoring some coral reefs that we currently have. Humans, we can't do it by ourselves, unfortunately. And, there's a lot of reefs that are sadly dying across the globe. It's really, really sad. So even in the sort of best conditions in terms of sea, which apparently is really rare, I did not know that. Human divers can only spend 3 to 4 hours a day working underwater, which clearly is not enough to kind of save all these coral reefs. So Tim Moore, which is the reef restoration manager, has basically said that half the world's coral reefs have died, and that the rest are expected to go exactly the same way in this century, which is absolutely crazy when you think of that.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So it's really, really sad because, again, we just don't think that kind of is going on. We think everything is normal, but yeah, half of the world's coral reef already gone, and if we carry on, we're not going to have any left, which is extremely sad. But also, if you think about the kind of global economy that kind of gets billions of dollars from what coral reefs do, in terms of fishing and loads of different industries, so the economy could be even worse than it currently is due to the pandemic, which again is really, really sad. So apparently, even if divers currently they improve their efficiency tenfold, it still won't be enough. So very, very serious. But Moore has said that they need to basically harness the power of automation, robotics, and AI that will allow them to work at the scales that will let them be able to save the coral reefs. So apparently he's got his eye on underwater robotics technology that is currently used by offshore oil and gas industries. But the issue with that is because the machinery they're currently using is really heavy equipment. So they would kind of need to adapt that to, deal with the sensitive areas of the corals and be able to, maneuver around them safely. But yeah, apparently AI is already at work sensing objects or animal species from underwater imagery. So again, it's similar to last week where I was talking about the wildfires. They're using orbital imagery. They're using underwater imagery for this. But yeah, he's kind of said there's a lot of work to do. This is not going to be an overnight thing. But if people start inventing this kind of equipment that they need right now, then hopefully when it gets to a point, which hopefully it won't, it will be available to kind of save this big issue. But something that's really cool, them as a company, I believe they're trying their best to develop this type of technology. Apparently the NOAA, they're going to potentially host competitions for innovators as well. So those innovators can propose coral restoration technologies. So yeah, it's not as happy as my last one last week, but it kind of, again, it's kind of showing that there is a need.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah,
it's a real concern. It's a real need. It's not just something that we can pretend isn't happening and then it will go away.
Yeah, so. And it's kind of saying, as humans, we are trying our best, but clearly it's not working. And that's just because we're humans, we can't be underwater due to certain conditions, but also the way we're built, we can't be underwater for that long. So yeah, it's just showing that AI does have a place in many different areas, different industries. And I think the fact that this company not only is kind of saying, right, this is what we need to do, we need to get started ASAP, they're kind of saying, hey, if anyone can help and you're innovators and you want to get involved, please approach us and kind of help us to see how we can collaborate and sort this global issue. So yeah.
I'm glad that artificial intelligence is even being thought of to be a part of this conversation of saving the coral reefs. I mean, it is it's an important issue, and just having to acclimate the different machinery that might already be in existence, but for the gentle and delicate needs of the coral reef, I think it has to start with humans asking the question of how we can help.
Yeah.
How can we help change what is currently going on, and how can we take it a step further than just our human capabilities? Because we can only go so far. Even though I'm sure many marine biologists would love to stay longer than 3 to 4 hours underwater to, help solve this issue. It's just humanly impossible. It goes outside of the limitations of what is safe.
Yeah.
But coming together with artificial intelligence, creating some sort of machine that can take on the human-like capabilities and how they maneuver, and giving the utmost care around the coral reef. I think it leaves much to be hopeful for in the future, that even these questions are being asked in the first place.
Yeah.
So
And I think even the AI being able to identify the certain coral reef that potentially needs some help, maybe it's damaged or whatever, or even we've talked about it before in the medical field, like imagine an AI trying to help that coral reef, but maybe it being faster than a human, because again, we're underwater, so our movements get very restricted.
True.
So it might be different for the AI.
That's true. I never thought about that. Almost like an aerodynamic kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, when you don't have to stop something, when it can just keep running and running and running, doing its job, it can see in the dark in a way that we wouldn't.
Exactly.
There's just like, I think the biggest thing is just make sure it doesn't rust, which is not a hard thing to adjust for.
Yeah.
And I think, I love it. I love the idea of kind of using AI in that space. And I like that we see so many different ways in which it's useful.
Yeah.
It's about so much more than, the doomsday scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. Yeah. I do appreciate articles like this as well, because it is turning it. It's like, let's shift our perspective and see how AI can actually help us beyond what we are capable of doing on our own. So this is another wonderful example of that. Yeah. Thank you, Jess.
All right.
All right, ladies. Are you ready for the last article? Our Twitch users and viewers, are you ready for the last article? I'm going to keep on with this feel-good mood of what AI can be capable of beyond the human, our human capabilities. And not only that, but certain problems that artificial intelligence is currently working at to not only help human beings, but our environment, as well as animals and many different sectors alike. My article is called 10 Wonderful Examples of Using Artificial Intelligence for Good. For good. All right. So one of the many benefits of using AI is to help us view societal problems from a different perspective. There's been a lot of doomsday talk, a lot of mystifying what artificial intelligence is. But what I am encouraged about, and what I'm encouraged about even in the last article, is that you're seeing artificial intelligence coming from a place of humans seeing a need, and artificial intelligence being able to fill in certain gaps that maybe wouldn't have been possible by human beings. Also, you see this a lot in the medical field. So there are 10 separate examples in this article. I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna graze the articles, right? Okay, so then the first one was cancer screening, and the AI is able to use deep learning algorithms to predict the developments of disease. So they have been, who is they? I know y'all are wondering, who is they?
Who is this they?
Who is they? A group at Mount Sinai used this deep learning AI algorithm. What they are finding is that the AI is able to predict diseases at a 94% accuracy. So some of the diseases that they looked at were like liver cancer, rectum, and prostate cancer. And you know, when thinking about how AI can be used in the healthcare space, the possibilities are truly endless. And cancer screenings becoming more accurate, and that can quite literally save our lives. And it is something that shouldn't be taken lightly in the fact that AI is used with human intelligence as well as artificial intelligence to come together to really better the healthcare profession. The next little subtopic where they were talking about saving the bees. Yes.
Yay, save the bees.
AI cares about all things. You know, at the end of the day, it is artificial intelligence being used to help or give that extra power, you know, that extra learning power behind human initiatives. You know, so all of these at the end of the day are humans wanting to help in whatever way they can, in whatever sector they see needs help. But coming together with an AI really does it can transform businesses, and it can transform livelihoods, quite literally. AI is used to identify patterns and trends in helping bees survive and thrive as their population is declining. So this AI model is looking at cameras were set up in beehives and seeing, you know, how the combs were formed and how where they live is certain environmental factors could possibly be affecting the whole hive, which is causing the bees to die off, and you know their population is on the decline. But artificial intelligence is coming in and really analyzing what their homes look like, and if there are any tweaks that need to be made. The data is in turn trying to build a better hive for them.
Right.
All right. There have been a lot of tools for people with disabilities. One AI in particular called StorySign. It's a mobile app. It is using this app is assisting deaf children in reading of stories. So all of the stories that go through the app are then translated into sign language, so the children can then be able to enjoy the stories. I think it is really a beautiful thing to see AI coming together in that way. It's something that I haven't even thought about myself, you know, in how do we use artificial intelligence to make an experience that I think many people take for granted, such as reading, like we're reading articles here with ease. You know, we don't have to necessarily think of, you know, other factors that may be in place that would deter this experience or make it not even able to happen. The artificial intelligence is coming in and giving an opportunity where maybe there wasn't one before. You know, maybe not all books have been translated in a way that children who are deaf can enjoy books just as anyone can enjoy the books. So there was also another AI called Facing Emotions, and helping people who cannot see how they can literally hear the emotion of the person. So where you know a face would make an emotion, maybe that's correlated to a specific sound that for the person who may not be able to see can then say, okay, I know what that emotion is because of the inflection of the voice. Just really really transforming experiences that many people take for granted. And I do love the fact that, whoever the team was behind these revolutionary um, apps really are taking into consideration the human experience, no matter how varied it looks. So that was another section.
It's really incredible, isn't it? When you go
It's
into
incredible.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
It really is incredible. Coming into the topic of climate change. So
I'm just gonna go get something because my nose is running. 1 second.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Keep going, but
yeah, absolutely. The next subsection was climate change, and climate informatics are being used to predict and educate different regions on how to deal with the impacts of climate change. Knowledge is power, and where there are computers and where there is artificial intelligence, maybe learning from the trends of the past and taking that information and possibly, predicting what the future outlook is. If the climate is continuing to get hotter, and it, what is it going to look like in 10 years? Well, depending on the regions within this world, the AI can in turn educate certain specific regions that may be at higher risk for climate change becoming more dire than in other places. So using the information that is obtained and doing something with that information is another facet of artificial intelligence that we look for in its effectiveness, ultimately. Okay, moving right along. Wildlife conservation. Jess, you will love this. You will love this. It allows, artificial intelligence allows underfunded conservationists an opportunity to analyze data inexpensively. So AI is really something incredible to be utilized by any kind of company of any size. The fact that AI can not replace in a negative way, but empower a smaller organization to be able to still do what its core mission is without having to hire on thousands of people. That truly is. It can be the make or break of certain ideas and certain initiatives that can change whole people groups for the better, can change whole species of animals to go from endangered to thriving. All of these things, the manpower that is created behind an artificial intelligence brain, that is a lot of manpower in itself. But for it to be used in a way that can empower smaller companies to get together and have the heart to keep their mission alive, but also have an AI that can support them in those endeavors is truly something that I think can change the world. Change the world in a way that it doesn't leave it to the people who are the rich and famous to do. It leaves it to people who have that place in their heart that really wants to help see this place be better for those that come after us. So
is this the reduce inequality and poverty?
No, but that's another point for that subject too. That is another, this was wildlife conservation. Just how AI can come and give certain tools to smaller efforts, that may not be
like
fully funded. Yes. Combating world hunger is another one. And a few weeks back, we were speaking about. I'm trying to go as quickly as possible through all of these, but I think I might just say a few of them and then maybe leave it up to the viewers to read the rest. And, you know, there really are so many great points. And I want to hear both of you ladies' opinions about this article as well. The last one I'm going to do is combat world hunger. A couple weeks back, I think one of the random questions, Lauren, you were asking if we had an AI to create whatever we wanted to create, what would we create? And
like
I
a
said
factory,
like,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, with a factory. And I said something about grains and possibly creating a grain with an artificial intelligence brain that could really make like a super grain to be able to thrive and grow in any environment. Yeah. Well, it turns out that there are companies out there right now, like nutrition early warning system. Yeah. They're out there, you know, seeing how the current output of food, how grains are being created now, the environmental factors, you know, trying to make these grains that thrive in adverse environmental factors, how it can be used for good. And they use machine learning and big data to identify regions that are at increased risk of food shortages due to crop failure and rising food prices and drought. But it's just so interesting to me how artificial intelligence can literally be used for many, many outlets of good. Combating world hunger was something that I was really encouraged by. There are a few more subsections, but I would encourage everyone, all of our users and viewers on the Twitch channel, to click on this article and just see how artificial intelligence will be used for good. Yes, there are 10 subsectors here, but the list is quite literally endless. So, you know, it truly is. It truly is. Yeah, I think with articles like that, it reminds everyone who is reading that, you know, it really does just take that idea. And where artificial intelligence comes in is it's a partnership truly with AI to do the things that maybe you are not able to do in your own strength. Maybe do the things that you are not able to do on your budget. AI really can take you to a different level if utilized properly.
Yeah.
So, ladies, what did you think about this article?
It's just super encouraging, isn't it? Like, it makes me so happy. And that's the thing. It's funny that you were like, you know, there's different sections I'm trying to go through as quickly as possible, because as you said, there are so many positive, you know, changes that AI can make to the world, to our lifestyles, to so many different things. So it always makes me super excited and super happy when we get to talk about something like this, because, you know, as we always say, people do focus on the negatives. People have their own bias about AI. But, you know, it's so important to not overlook how positive AI can be in this world. And I think, yeah, there's so many things, as I said, that, and as we all said, that AI can do to this world. And I think, just like humans, AI isn't perfect. And again, that's one stereotype, is that because it's AI, it's got to be perfect all the time. But, you know, as I said, humans, we're not perfect. But, you know, I think it shows the importance, if we collaborate human with AI, how much, obviously, it's going to advance the world, but how much that's going to enhance our own lifestyles. And, you know, it's going to save the world. It's going to save the coral reefs. It's going to stop wildfires. It's going to do all of this different stuff. And I think it's just so exciting, and it makes me so happy.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So one more thing, because you did mention human bias, and implicit bias was a big topic that we spoke on yesterday's Flags and Poles episode. For our Twitch users and viewers, if you are interested in what that conversation looked like yesterday, be sure to head to our videos portion and see our Flags and Poles from yesterday. Oh my gosh. Okay, Lauren, I'm gonna let you have the floor just a second. But the reducing inequality and poverty. how AI can be used in reducing inequalities such as human bias. I had to touch on this subject just one more time because it's important. When this is introduced to any facet of the world, specifically creation of jobs, the job process, as well as educational endeavors and the application processes used in to hire basically our future workforce. Our future leaders and educators. When you utilize artificial intelligence, if the AI was made with everyone truly in mind, it will decrease the amount of human bias used to select who these people are, who will be running our future. It's so important in this conversation of human bias to make sure that the workplace that is creating the artificial intelligence that will be used all over the world and for every kind of person out there, every different walk of life, every different background, everything is taken into consideration, because when these considerations are taken into the system and taken into the creation of said system, it really can make for a more even playing field in terms of the selection process, which is another process that you saw yesterday in our flags and polls episode. But yeah, I just really wanted to touch on that because that is so important in how AI can positively affect the world.
I mean, drop the mic. Yeah, no, I love articles like this because this is the promise of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
I think we got to remember that it is easy to be skeptical. It is harder to create the new reality. It's harder to dream and make it actually come to fruition. And when we talk about something like, artificial intelligence, again, it is just what do we call it? It's like the Swiss Army knife of technology. It's that tool that can be used in so many different ways, areas, places. Again, it doesn't get exhausted. It doesn't, forget its place. It just, when designed well. And so you end up with a system, an intelligence. I don't know what other way to really say it, but that can open the doorway to so many great things. And specifically, the things that excite me are things like, yes, addressing climate change and all of the things that are affected by it, include. Okay, it's trailing off now. But all the things that are affected by climate change. So that's, animal population, food production, and then the things that get exacerbated by those inequalities, like poverty, economic status, health, and welfare, disease, all of these different things. AI can be that. I think it was like someone who mentioned they had been on the call weeks ago, who was saying, AI answers the how do we do this question by being the who that gets it done.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think that's one of the great promise of AI is New York is so noisy. New York is so noisy. The great promise of AI is that, you can have so many potential solutions to so many different kinds of problems.
Yeah.
And as Paula said, it's all about making sure you have the right people helping to tweak that AI for each solution. But it's so exciting. This is the kind of thing, this is AI, for it to be done right, has to be about helping to improve the world.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Agreed.
Well said.
That little soundbite would be amazing. That's going to be a highlight.
Yeah. Both of you ladies continue to hit it out of the park. I am so happy to always be a part of this team. It's true. It's true. what was said here today, ladies and gentlemen. What is the takeaway I feel of this episode is just, everyone out there has many ideas as to how this world could be a better place, not only for ourselves, but for possibly animal species or our environment, or anything that you can see a way to help is something that artificial intelligence is able to walk hand in hand with you, and that dream and that vision that you may have for the future. If you are interested in getting to know an AI, that you can just start talking to, let Arghon get to know you and your dreams, hopes, and visions of how to change the world. Head on over to arghon.com. You can download it to all of your devices and begin the interaction process today. If you are looking to create anything of your own, using artificial intelligence, you can learn to code for whatever you'd like to create for the future. You can do that right now if you head on over to arghon.com/vision 2020. We provide all of the learning lessons, as well as the platform also offers an area for you to practice your AI coding and create codes of your own. It's all for free to the end user. Yes, so if you are interested in any of those initiatives, feel free to head on over to arghon.com. Click around, get to know a little bit more about this company that we are so proud to be a part of. You can also catch Arghon on our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Arghon AI. That is ARGHON AI. As well as our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Arghon. If you would like to be more a part of this Twitch page, always feel free to, comment any questions or anything in relation to what we are speaking about, anything in relation to the news articles, or just the conversation of artificial intelligence where you are coming from. Also, we want to get to know you guys. So wherever you're coming from, what has been your favorite hobby during this quarantine time? If you take a moment to look back to our past videos, which are available to you in our videos portion of our Twitch channel, you can still ask questions on all of those videos. We'll respond. That is it for today's episode, but I want to thank you, ladies, for your always insightful, always poignant talks on this conversation of AI, of artificial intelligence. It's always a joy to be on this channel with you all. To our Twitch users and viewers, we want to thank you so much for viewing. That is it for today's episode. We will be back on Thursday for an episode of Throwback Thursday. That will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8 p.m. British Summer Time. Once again, go ahead, Lauren.
And don't forget that our Friday roundup has shifted and is now going to be occurring at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard, midnight British Summertime.
Midnight.
Thank you. Yes, that's good. That's good. That's good. Once again, from all of us on the Arghon team, for those you see here and those you don't, we want to thank you so much for being a part of the ever-changing and ever insightful and exciting conversation of artificial intelligence. Bye, guys. See you Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.